which is I collect the non-numerical data to find the other like sample or other good cash practice, the role model, the existing technology and tool that could help me to implement and to solve my problem on the topic. So I have 4 steps to follow in order to achieve my goals. So first, I need to define clear role and responsibility. And secondly, I would like to define one blockchain application and which is the best fit for medical system and block bank. So the third part is about defining a topic. So I will need to clarify my topic as well as I can. So, and then last but not the least, I need to define one case scenario since the topic is too broad. So I need to find the particular case scenario to solve as well. I think that's all for the stuff that I use in order to achieve my success inside my research and development. So this is my technology and tool for the report. I use LaTeX for the documentation mockup for my report and Zotero for the citation inside my report as well. So let's move to the literature review. So why we need decentralized system? Decentralized system is a very good implementation to cut down the risks of the single point failure, and also eventually it increase the security that maintain all data and operation would be available to for the performance for the operation inside the system. And blockchain application tend to design to be decentralized and distributed to reduce the dependency of one centralized point. So why we need blockchain for our block bank? We obviously know that block bank is the joint of many members, just like National Nutrition Center, hospital, and many more. So it would be multiple members inside that. So it's a good practice, a good implementation to reduce the dependency of one-man supplier for the block bank, and assure the data and operation is recorded. When it's recorded, it would be immutable. It cannot be changed easily, and it's transparent enough for the general public and block bank to do the operation, and it's secure enough that satisfy the needs of the block bank, and the public would satisfy the security and the transparency inside the block bank as well. So let's move to the technology and tool. So I would show you the blockchain technology. First, start with the definition of it. Blockchain is the technology of, we can define it as a database to use the method of cryptography to form a linked list, continuously growing linked list or the list of record, and secure chaining that is show the characteristic of it to be immutable. Blockchain application can be designed into decentralized, private, and public. We can implement it as a hybrid as well, with the combination of decentralized or private, the combination of private public inside private inside the public. Yeah. So let's move to the Hyperledger Fabric. Hyperledger Fabric is my finalized blockchain application, which I use for my block bank management system. So it's a proposed solution under the Hyperledger project, which is development of the Linux Foundation. We can consider it as a distributed ledger software that it has the clear modular design approach to form the architecture from the lowest level component to the highest level component to do the standard operation inside the Hyperledger Fabric. And it has a conceptual model that means all the members inside the Hyperledger Fabric system need to be authenticated. So this is I would like to share you the 3 key components inside the Hyperledger Fabric. First is the membership service provider. The role of it is to generate certificate for all members. that show their identity, show their wallet. So the cat order service is the responsibility of it is to make sure the performance, transaction, the query data, and other related performance would be going well without any interruption. So the peers is the one more important key asset that it store the lecture, store the data, and it hosting and storing the champ code, which is the program that store the business logic inside the fabric inside the fabric system. So the peer could be the computer or it could be the virtual machine. So that's all for this part. Let's move to the technology and tool that I use for the implementation. First, I use the Curve to download the sample fabric and also download the image of the Docker in order to help to support the fabric sample. Docker is uh, the hosting. I use it for hosting the peer orderer and many components in Fabric in the Docker containers. Git is the technology that I use to writing command inside the Fabric system via the Git bash, and also I use it for the version control as well. Go language is the language that I use to write to customize and writing the smart contract inside my Hyperledger Fabric. The Node.js, I use it for the entry point or the API to connect to the Fabric network. So we can also use the Java application as well. So the solution, this is my proposing solution. I would like to create a block bank management system, which all authorized members in the consortium to add the block bank by themselves. They can transfer the block bank ownership with the agreement from both sides. They can query data from the available block bank inside the block bank. They can update the data when they make some error inside the block bank management system database. So the proof of concept is that I would like to customize the champ code using Go language. Also, I customize the software development kit using the Node.js. And also I do the interaction inside the Hyperledger Fabric by using the certificate authority to generate certificate. And also I having one channel that store the champ code on the network and also have two organization and also one peer each and one orderer as well. So this is my demo. So first of all, we need to go to the test network. And then as we obviously see that the block one is my champ code is already invoked inside the test network. I would bringing the network up with the certificate authority. And then the Docker would obviously running the orderer, the peer from each organization. And then we create another terminal to go to our SDK. So to the basic transfer asset basic transfer that store having the champ code or the application, and we go to the application JavaScript. And we can obviously see that there is the wallet available inside the application since I already connect to the network, Fabric network, and it generates the wallet which identify the admin or the user which would eventually connect to the network. And after I run the null app.js, it obviously show the all available data that I successfully implemented. And first of all, I just query all the available data inside the system. And then I test with some function inside the system, just like create asset, read asset that I have already created, checking if the asset exists or not. Let's update the asset as well. last but not the least is the transfer the asset by changing the ownership. So it's a very core concept of my implementation. As like this example, I change the new owner to the Royal Lonco Hospital, and then the asset would change the owner to the Royal Lonco Hospital. Yeah, I think that's all for my demonstration. Let me move to the conclusion. So along the way with my research and development of my internship, I would be able to understand clearly and analyze about the blockchain technology application. Moreover, I can know more about the Hyperledger Fabric, and I can create more social impact by creating a betterment of blockchain ecosystem. It's a good starting point for me to do my research, and also I can improve my teamwork and communication skill within these 3 months. And my future work, after I have done 3 months of internship, I would like to expand my project to have a better user interface in the future by having end-to-end interaction and have complete website-based application. And I will switch the software development kit to the Java application. And after that, for the research part, I would like to create more data and information to my use case and try to connect to other lab project as well, like smart card for the authentication would be eventually store my wallet inside the smart card. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. Hello, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chong Wei Sing, for interesting presentations. So I would like to ask 3 judges. You can ask any questions. Sorry, Mr. Thaure, we cannot hear you clearly.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Again, thank you for your presentation. I have some questions. The first one is, why did you choose Hyperledger Fabric as a technology that you for your project? I believe that there are other platform that you can use, right? Any reason behind it?
Yeah, thank you for your question. I think there is many reasons behind it. Actually, under the Hyperledger project itself and other applications that are available out there, they are having the unique characteristic. But I can see that Hyperledger Fabric is the standout application that is under the fund from the IBM technology, and it's the development under the Linux Foundation. And among all applications available under the Hyperledger Fabric, it more mature than other language, and it tend to solve the business logic more than the public blockchain like Ethereum. I think Ethereum is kind of a good application as well for implement, but it's kind of not really, sometimes it doesn't meet the like, how can I say, the business requirement, just like they have the combination with the cryptocurrency or other stuff, which not really a good image for other like blockchain they want to. And then I think that Hyperledger Fabric, they 2.2, they have more privacy and then the security implementation for their platform. Yep. And they have clear architecture to form, and I can say that majority of the application is the best fit for the blockchain to avoid the change or the some I could say that it's stable. Hyperledger is a stable blockchain application that we can use the plug our business logic inside that system. Yep. I hope it can answer your question.
There's one question from my part. Tavra, do you finish all your questions? Can I start now?
Actually, not yet. I yeah, I forgot to unmute
I
my
will
microphone.
come back later. You can continue.
Okay. So you have done comparison with the Ethereum, right? How
Yeah.
about the open source or maybe or the technology? Because I think there are a lot more. Not just Ethereum. Maybe I just do some research. I see many more.
Yep.
So have you done? Have you checked all the technology as well, or you just compare with Ethereum and Hyperledger Fabric?
Actually, I have researched more application as well, just like the other Hyperledger project like Hyperledger Indy, Hyperledger Sawtooth, and other like multi-chain. But I solely because of Ethereum and Hyperledger Fabric is the more popular blockchain application. But I would say that I would like to check on their consensus algorithm because for the Ethereum and Bitcoin and other public blockchain, they tend to do the proof of work that would be slower the process, while the Hyperledger project, especially Hyperledger Fabric, they use the Byzantine fault tolerance, which to the more member it has inside the network, the more secure it is to make the system stable to avoid fraud. Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, Hyperledger Fabric, is it a private blockchain or what?
I would say that is consortium, it's private blockchain actually.
All right.
Yep.
Another question, based on your research and what you have done so far, is it that it show your problem? Because in your first presentation you mentioned about the problem. I believe there are 3 problems, and up until now what you see so far, do you think it solve all this problem with what you have done?
Actually, yep. I can say that the use case that I use is to contribute to the management and distribution of the block bank that should securely store inside our system, so it would be decentralized. So I can say that the third part, the trust and transparency inside the system would be increased if I can implement, if the block bank, they can successfully implement their to be more distributed or the decentralized. But I also say that I would help to contribute to short take of the block bank. Since I can see a good care practice in United States, they form up a community, like they do the blood donation in their own like hospital, and they can share the blood among their own network. So do the my application would be decentralized. So all the hospital and other related stakeholders, they could eventually share their own blood, do the blood campaign after the approval from the Ministry of Health of Cambodia. They can eventually increase the number of blood donation and reduce the shortage due to the COVID-19. And when the system is more secure, more transparent, and more stable and consistent enough, the general public and other people would aware to. I could say that at the end, voluntary donor could come to have regular blood donation, just like our neighborhood country, like Thailand and Vietnam. Yep.
Okay. And by the way, who is the target user for your system? Is it for not more user that they net a lot, or maybe you refer to the hospital? Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I got your question. Thank you for your question. So my targeted customer would be the National Transfusion Center or the stakeholder inside the blood bank, like hospital, the general hospital, or the Ministry of Health of Cambodia. They would they have the bigger fund to implement such a this big project. It takes time for them to implement, but I can see the opportunity that in the future they want to implement advanced to make sure the medical system, especially during this pandemic, they would consider to digitalize their system as well. I think the big hospital and the public authority related to health, yeah, is my targeted customer.
All right. My last question here. So far, I think you have gone deep into the blockchain technology, and based on this experience, how do you think that you can apply this technology in the future? Maybe in some other area. Can you tell me what can you do with this technology?
Actually, after I have researched through the blockchain technology, the medical system is just one use case that blockchain technology can apply. But I can see after I successfully implement the technology, I can contribute to other business use case as well, such as the logistic solution and other areas, such as to maintain their asset to do the transaction securely, and they can record their own data without any like data upon the data inside their ledger and avoid the edition from the cyber attack. I would say that the fintech technology and other technology that would consider the high security would be my would also can implement the blockchain technology as well. But for this medical system, it's just one part of the application that blockchain technology could apply.
That's it for me. I don't have any other question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tavret, for your questions. And Nekru Vanna, you can ask question.
Hello everyone. Hello student. Can everyone hear me well?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Nekru.
Because it's a little bit out of my my domain of my skill. So I don't have any technical question, but I just wonder because 3-month internship. I think for me 3 months is a short period for research internship. Can you mention about the most valuable lesson that you have learned or you have received during the internship? The lesson could related to the research skill or other kind of a soft skill, or how you keep the research go on track and maintain manage the schedule and to keep up with the schedule.
Yep, thank you, teacher. During this 3-month internship, is not a good, easy journey, but it's a good challenge. I say it gives me a lot of opportunity to explore more other image of the information technology. To keep me the right track, I would always ask my supervisor, advisor, and other senior, and for the advice, and also they provide a lot of recommendation to help me to achieve the success. Also, I would say that it's a starting point for my research to have a clear image of my future thesis. And I would say that teamwork experience is one of the memorable skills that I got during my 3-month internship. Since in information technology and related stuff or computer science, we always when we want to get the bigger project, we need to work in team. So teamwork is really important skill that I can say I can get, and also research skill as well. Since before, when I was only solely focused on study, I have never aware that research field require a lot of technique something. I can say that I can learn some technique and then try to implement that. And reading journal paper is also one of the challenging moments that I need to read and scan. Sometimes the journal paper or the book would not provide the solution that we want. So we try to read as many as we can to get the solution or the answer that we want to solve for my problem. Yeah. I think that there's many more, but due to time constraint, I would end my, I would say that the internship would give me a good starting point for my build a big image for me in the computer science and also information security field. And also I can be able to kickstart the teamwork and also expand more like project regardless of the barrier like COVID-19. We working online, so yeah, we can work virtually with our team, and my supervisor, advisor, or other senior who provide many good knowledge for me along the way with my internship. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the answer.
So yeah, thank you, Nekru, and thank you, Wei Seng, for your presentation. So now let's move to the next presenter, Mr. Lim Sampong, as he's going to do a presentation on the topic of the blockchain for medical information sharing. Yeah, so Isai, okay, thank you very much. So you can start, Isai, play the video. Thank you.
Mr. Lam Sampong, and today I would like to present my research about blockchain for medical information sharing. This is the content of my presentation. Let's start off with introduction. We all know in the healthcare industry or hospital, by knowing one's private information or medical record is like knowing someone else to the core. It means that we know that person very well, and we need to know because we need to correctly treat the patient, treat that person from the element, and we need to know what kind of element that person has. Inside the medical record, there are many information such as treatment plan, medical drug prescription, personal information and family history, plus medical record and lab report, and as well as image. The problem that the current information medical record are organized. Some organizations use stack of paper to store patient data and store it inside a room or a warehouse if they have one anyway. Why? Because they need those information to treat that certain person again in the future if they were to come to the same hospital. This method is cheap and easy, but it's inefficient. Why? Because paper can easily be damaged by careless employee, elements such as water or fire hazard, or that paper is begin to decay by the time it's aging. Not only that, it does take time to find a document for a specific person. If that person try to retrieve more than one person's record, they will take more time, and it will be very heavy because those documents are not light. The problem that occur when some hospitals use EHR or electric health record is that those solutions have a problem when the server begin to do maintenance, monthly maintenance that can delay or postpone the service entirely. Some doctor, specifically junior doctor who just come to just start working inside that particular hospital, doesn't know how to use the system. And that kind of system cannot be shared to other hospital when the patient try to change the hospital, and the patient cannot check or see that their data that being used because the patient has no right to see it. The goal of this research is to ensure that data is protected, make it transparent to involved party and easy to transfer to other members inside the network, and secure all the patient information and not allow to anyone to use those information without the patient's permission. The way I do my research is I start by reading research paper, reading paper website or some journal about EHR for the first 2 months. After that, I progressed to blockchain technology and its component. After that, I use Hyperledger Fabric. I read about Hyperledger Fabric inside its document, the official documentation and research paper. In September, I began to do implementation. And before I do it, I start to learn Go programming before I do it. Due to, due to the similarity between Go and C or C++, I can easily understand it and begin coding. The tool I use for writing a report is Microsoft Word. It's Microsoft Word and Zotero for citation. To sum it all up, the current system needs to improve the security and transparency, and the data cannot be, and patient data need to be protected from those who try to threat the patient. And blockchain might be a solution to solve this problem. And healthcare service need to find a special way to share information without being eavesdropped by someone else outside the network. Okay. Now we move to literature review. So number one, we talk about medical information and its problem. The medical information is very important to researcher inside the medical field or doctor who need to use it to treat the patient. It holds many valuable data, but if it were to expose into a public place, it might harm or endanger the patient. And the current system is stored in a way that patient cannot be view or control the data. With the rise of technology, those kind of data can be easily be hacked or be viewed by an unauthorized person. Blockchain, on the other hand, is an blockchain. On the other hand, the tab is okay. Let's talk about number two. In the enterprise environment, blockchain that use permission is the type of blockchain that can store that allow people or a group of people to join the network, if only if they have permission or invited to join. Due to its nature and distributed ledger to all the node or peer in network, it can update those ledger and avoid the danger when there's one or more ledger in the network corrupted. Together with consensus, the data can ensure the data those data are secure, transparency, and privacy. Together with Hyperledger, it will increase the control accessibility, flexibility, and scalability. In conclusion, the blockchain is a good way to store that patient data and ensure its content is tamper-proof, and it's also a great way to share or exchange information between hospitals. While patients can be at ease about their data from being used to against them. As for implementation, I'm using implementation. We talk about the technology first. I'm using Hyperledger Fabric to store all user data for CURL or curl. I'm using it for getting Fabric sample and Docker image. For Docker, it's used for replicate the environment where Hyperledger Fabric can run. Git for version control, Go for chain code or smart contract, and Node.js for running JavaScript application. As for tool for implementation, I'm using VMware Workstation Pro, Ubuntu for the environment to run Fabric, and VS Code or Visual Studio Code for editing code inside Ubuntu. Okay. To sum it all up, blockchain is a great technology that can be used to ensure the safety of data while making it easy for hospitals to transfer it to or from other hospitals or a group of people. For patients who have their data stored in this kind of system, can freely see and manipulate their data, as well as able to limit or deny the patient access. Okay. Now we move to demonstration. Okay, let's begin.
Did you say something in this demo, or it's just silent?
Just silent, teacher. Because when the time I record the demonstration, I have my microphone problem.
Why don't you say something now? Because you can say something while you
Sorry, teacher, but I can understand.
Maybe you want to explain your demo or no?
Yes, teacher. Sorry for the noise. Before I start the network, I normally I go with command network.sh down, because I want to make sure that all the query are all clear up and there's no problem. After that, I start with network.sh up with the command create channel dash c my channel dash ca, and I'm using that command to create a channel named my channel with a certification authority. After I finish that, I'm starting to run network.sh deploy cc dash ccn basic dash ccp asset transfer basic chain code go dash ccl go. This is where I deploy chain code or smart contract in Go language. After that, I moved back to Java JavaScript application, where I began to run a JavaScript application. But then, if I already have a wallet and I just recently restart a network, it will cause an error. So in order to remove those errors, I need to remove the wallet first. I use command orm -r wallet. After I remove all the wallet, I begin to use Node app.js again. After it finished run the command, it will show that all the assets or the data inside the fabric. Next, I try to create a new asset with the ID of asset 7 with the owner, where the owner is the name of the doctor, and together with element and treatment plan. After I finish running those, after that it began to do checking for the exist asset or update asset. Sorry, update asset where the ID is asset 70. But in the fabric we don't have asset 70, so it will output the error to show us that the asset 70 is not exist. After that, I try to update again using the asset 1 where the owner named Soka, and the final result, it was output that I have transferred the asset 1 to the new owner named Soka as a teacher.
So that's all for your presentations, Sampong.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so thank you for your presentation. So let's move to the question section. So 3 judges, you can ask questions. Thank you.
Sister Sumpong. I will start with a little comment on the presentation. During the demo part, the problem is that there's some part where we have to wait for something to run. Maybe next time when you record the video, you can pause the record so that we don't have to wait for it to finish running the command, something like that. And the question will be the same as been saying. It will be about the lesson that you have learned during the internship, like the most valuable lesson that you have learned. Yeah.
During the internship, I have learned many things about the blockchain technology. I finally understand how's important about the information, and after that I have also I have learned to develop some new skills such as teamwork, because I'm usually work alone, and I can understand how the value of teamwork. Not only that, I can begin to learn how to begin to reading more than the last time I do, and I finally understand how to use the tool that I have to successfully finish the project or the demonstration as a teacher.
Thank you for the answer. The other teacher can start the question now.
Okay, maybe I can ask something. First, I would like to give some feedback to your presentation. It's really hard to follow both your slides and your presentation, your speech. So maybe you should later you need to improve more, especially the content of the slide. Please do not write too many words or sentences. Normally we don't use too many words, and you also sometimes make incoherent explanation to your slides, and there's no clear explanation on what you're trying to explain. So maybe you can put some graphic to help your explanation. Okay.
Yes. Sure.
Maybe some because I'm not from this kind of field. Maybe some simple and you can explain in simple words. Some simple question. Can you explain me why this technology or decentralized system is more secure than the traditional centralized system? Okay.
Yes. Sure.
Do you get my question? Hello.
I can't hear you clearly, Pisai.
Sorry, teacher. Got some problem again. Decentralized system is more secure than centralized system because if we were to use a centralized system, the attacker can only attack once at one point, or I could say one point failure. If we were to use decentralized system, the attacker might have a hard time to take down our network. And that's it. That all I can get. That's all, teacher.
Okay. Besides, do you have other questions?
Not yet. You can ask.
All right. First of all, like on the teacher, there's a comment. You know that the benefit of recording video, right? Recording video for presentation and live presentation is
Yes, teacher.
And what is the benefit you can and the benefit of recording with the video is that you can change it whatever you want before you submit for review. And what I feel like it seems that you didn't try to do multiple record, because I see sometimes you start with some word and then you just were like you do just like a live presentation, and that's what I feel like you didn't try to put a lot of effort to do this video. And also for the demo, you mentioned that your microphone doesn't work at that time. So if it doesn't work at that time, why don't you record it again?
Teacher, can you ask the question again, teacher? Because I don't get it.
It's not a question, it's just a comment. I want to say is that if you do record the video before presentation, if it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good, do it again. Don't submit like that. All right, it's just for that question.
Yes, teacher.
Back to the question. I see in the problem, the problem that you list in your slide presentation, I see a lot of problem can be solved by just using the centralized server, like the simple application that you can create a server, create a database, and say to use it. why don't you use it instead of blockchain? So I believe that blockchain is a decentralized server and it has its benefits, but the complexity is also a lot. And why don't you use centralized server like we normally do for this application?
Yes, teacher. The reason I choose to use blockchain because blockchain is immutable to being corrupted. Because if the attacker trying to change one block, they have to change every block. Because if they change one data, the hash will be different hash. And if the system were to validate it, it will show that the data is being corrupted, and they will reject that later. If we were to use the other type of system that is decentralized server, they can easily be changed, and without use consensus like a proof of work or proof of stake, it can make the data corrupted and cause confusion inside the network.
So you say you are using blockchain here because you want to prevent from other hacking into your system. You mean like that?
Yes, teacher.
But I believe that even the centralized server, we still can prevent from happening from hacker to hack into the system. You see, if like not just a small system, even Facebook, even Google, they still have server, they still have centralized server, and they worry a lot. People hack the system. To me, it's kind of not logic because if you say so, the application, the big application like Facebook, maybe Google, how can they do it by using normal centralized?
I don't understand that alarm noise.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? I'm not sure if there are.
Yeah, very strong background noise from power.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Would you
teacher.
yeah.
Yes, teacher.
My microphone. Okay, again, you mentioned that you use blockchain to prevent people from hacking, right? It's what you said.
Yes, teacher.
But I believe that you see a lot of platforms like Facebook, like Google, they also use centralized server. They have their own server, they host the application in their server, and I believe that they care a lot about people hacking into their system. If you say that you use blockchain to prevent from hacking, why does those which companies still use the centralized server? Comment.
Okay. If I would guess, but those companies such as Facebook, Google, and Amazon, they have, let's just say, they have many security employee who can deal with it, and two, they have many server up and running around the world, and if they were attacking on one server, they can simply shut one down and redirect it to another server while they trying to prevent or fighting back the attacker who tried to attack their server. As for us who in a small or organization who need to run, we don't have money to run those kind of server because it's too expensive. If we were to employ blockchain, it's not only cheap to run, it can also be prevent and keep the attacker away from our data as well.
All right. I'm not sure because I'm not really into the blockchain technology, but I think that even in blockchain, they still need to have multiple server, or maybe because they need to decentralize data. So, and, for the question, let's put this to the end because I'm not sure as well. Another question from me. After your internship, your 3-month internship, how can you rate yourself? How much do you understand about blockchain? How can you rate yourself?
Yeah, just okay. Before I begin to do this internship, I just say I know almost nothing about blockchain technology. If after I gone this do this internship, I could just say I know about 50 to 60% more than last time, because last time I never done anything before.
Okay, thank you. That's it from me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Tauret. And I just want to do a clarification on your questions about like the big company, a centralized system that can handle the big attacks. And yes, like I cannot say that it's not true, but it half true that the centralized system might need to to buy a software, like buy the computer, like a server to handle the security incidents. And for the decentralized system like blockchain, we just simply have a server in each peer, maybe like 4 or 5 peers, and they collaborate on each other, and the data cannot be collapsed, has difficulty to be collapsed when an attack on a central, sorry, not central, on a party, on a peer. So another peer can handle this, recover the data when the attacks occur. And so I hope that this might answer to you, Mr. Tauret. I think if we have time, we can talk more about it. And blockchain is not only talking about the technology, but when we apply the blockchain, we just need to talk about the use case, not the technology itself, because some use case it simply work well in centralized system without use decentralized. But some use case that, for example, like medical system that interact with many hospital and they need to share data, and those data are sensitive and difficult for we need to aware that all data need to hide to be hidden from the centralized server. So that's why we propose using the blockchain systems. And yeah, thank you, Sampong. And let's move to the third presenters. So the third presenter is Chia Darika, and she's going to do a presentation about the topic is the medical information sharing in drug on the blockchain technology. And yes, let's go ahead. Pisai, can you have to share the video? Thank you.
Hello, teacher and everyone. My name is Tia Rika, and I'm going to present about my internship or research topic, medical information sharing in trunk. My academic supervisor and my internship tutor is Dr. Tadara. For my internship duration is from 26 July to 12 October 2021. This is my topic content: the introduction, literature review, implementation and technology, conclusion and demonstration. For introduction, we talk about background of research, problematic, research methodology, technology, and tools for writing a report. Background of research. Medical information sharing is the sharing or exchanging data of patient that allow hospital, doctor, pharmacy, patient, and other healthcare provider to appropriately access and securely share a patient vital information. And drug is the type of chemical substance which is the patient can get from the pharmacy or the doctor prescription. Problematic. Drug is very important, especially in the COVID-19 pandemic. Vaccine and medicine can save our life, and information of drug is also important too. because some trunk can tell what the patient disease, and it has lack of the patient trunk information, especially history of trunk allergy to the ill user, so it will be dangerous for the patient. And if lack of security at the hospital to protect the patient trunk information, so it will make lack of the trust from the patient to the hospital. For research methodology, the first time that we choose this topic, so we have no knowledge about the information sharing, and so we do the research about it and to find its use case, and then we find the technology can apply on it to protect the patient data. So we found the blockchain technology is the best solution, and its platform Hyperledger Fabric, and we do research about it to make understanding as well as possible. For trunk sharing scenario, when the patient go to see the doctor, they must ask about the trunk information. After that, they will keep the trunk information to the server blockchain, and the blockchain can keep it secure. So when the doctor want to see all of trunk information, they have to ask permission from the patient first. Next, technology and tool for writing a report. I have written my report on Microsoft Word, and I used Zotero for linking the different book or website on my report. Two, literature review. I have read about the research paper like a case study for blockchain in healthcare that describe about the EHR system. EHR is the electric health record system that can allow patient to update or to put the personal information like trunk information, and describe about the technology of blockchain and using Ethereum smart contract for medical record. Also provides a proof of concept system demonstrating how principle of decentralization and the blockchain architecture could contribute to secure, interoperable EHR system. Our website that interview the doctor that describe about the benefit when patient go to the hospital with a folder that allow hospital or doctor to see the trunk history as a timeline and the detail of the medical history of each hospital. 3. Implementation and technology. At there, I will show you about the blockchain technology, Hyperledger Fabric, technology and tool for implementation and the implement result. Blockchain technology. Blockchain is a link between one block to one block. It maintains the continuously growing list of record and secure chaining by method of cryptography. Blockchain technology can design into distributed, centralized, decentralized. At this research, I use decentralized system to apply blockchain into my medical information sharing. Next is Hyperledger Fabric. Hyperledger Fabric is an open source enterprise-grade permission distributed ledger technology platform that designed for use in enterprise context that delivers some key differentiating capability over other popular distributed ledger or blockchain platform. And Fabric is the first distributed ledger platform that supports smart contract to in general purpose programming language like Java or Go and Node.js. For smart contract or can call chain code in the Fabric is a function as trust distributed application that gain its secure or trust for the blockchain and the underlying consensus among peers. That is good for business or especially for the healthcare system. And for the chain code service, it uses Docker to host the chain code without relying on the other particular virtual machine or computer language. About technology and tool for implement. Previously, I have used my computer window to make implementation, but I saw the problem with Docker application on my window. So I decided move to work with Jupyter machine. So I use VMware Workstation for put Ubuntu machine in, and after that I download VS Code for write and edit Fabric sample code, and use Git and GitHub command for cloning the Fabric sample code, and use Node.js for creating SDK software development kit, use Curve for installing sample Fabric and sample Fabric version, and Docker image. For the Docker, used for hosting peer and other components in Fabric. Last one is Go language. Use Go language for developing the smart contract or chain code. Implementation is the left photo is the type of asset structure. Asset describe a basic detail for what make up a simple asset. Asset have ID, owner, person, trunk, amount. Owner is the refer to name of the doctor, and patient, yes, is name of the patient. Trunk is the name of trunk. Amount is refer to the number of trunk that patient get from the doctor prescription. At the right photo is the function of smart contract. This photo I cut from the file of smartcontract.go. This is used for list all our assets. Like example, asset 1 that have owner need, that the doctor name need, and a patient name Ratha, trunk name Dolibrand, and amount of trunk is 10 tablet. I have write only 6 assets for the rank, so if we want to leave all the assets, we can write a command get all assets, so we will see the list of the asset. Implement result. At the left photo is the list of asset result that we have stored, and after we run we can see like this. So the right photo is the read asset, so we can read only one asset by input the asset number, and the last one is the transfer asset. If we example, when a patient want to change a doctor or change a use to the new hospital, so we can transfer the asset. Example, asset 1 have changed from the doctor name Need to the doctor name Tom. And we can also update the asset, like example asset 1 that we have updated amount of trunk tablet from 10 to 20. For the conclusion, we can understanding about the use case of blockchain technology on medical system and get more knowledge about the Hyperledger Fabric as a chain code work or the Docker and Go language. And for the future work, we will research more about making SDK software development kit by using Java programming language, and learn about the function encryption and description and other ability of blockchain in medical system or other system that can apply blockchain. So now I will show you about my demonstration. For demonstration, first of all, we go to folder test network in folder Fabric sample and make sure the network is down. After that, we network up and create channel that name my channel. When it's finished, we will see channel my channel join. Then we deploy chain code basic, chain code package in the asset transfer basic chain code Go and chain code language Go. Wait for a while until it's successful. So now it's successful. Next, we export all of these parts to install the sample and binary and image Docker. And we run a command peer chain code invoke to the local host. After that, we will see chain code invoke successful and the result status. So now we run a command peer Django query to list all of our assets at our channel ledger. And we can see our asset like ID asset 1. Owner is referred to the name of doctor, name need, and patient name Ratha, drug name Dolipran, and amount of drug. Amount is referred to the number of the drug that patient get from doctor prescription. So we have asset 2, asset 3, until asset 6. If we want to read only one asset, we can run a command read asset and write asset number that we want to read. Now we're going to read asset 2. Yes, enter. So we can see ID asset 2, doctor name John, patient Angelina, drug doxycycline, and amount of drug is 20 tablet. At here, our list have only 6 assets, and if we want to create more assets, we can go cd to asset transfer basic, application JavaScript, and then run node app.js. At here, we can update or create new asset and transfer asset. You can see the list of asset 1 to asset 6, and create new asset with ID, owner, person, drug, and amount, and it's the result of asset 7 that we have created. And if we want to update the asset, at this we update asset 1, update the amount of volume to 20. That you can see the all asset 1 amount is 10. So after we update, the result will be changed to 20. If the patient wants to change to a new hospital or new doctor, we can transfer. Example, asset 1, transfer to new doctor name Tom at the new hospital. So the result, the owner is changed from Nick to Tom. So now go to our test network and test to read the asset 7 that we have created. Yes, we can see asset 7 now. So that's all for my demonstration and my presentation. Thank you, teacher, and thank you, everyone. Hello, teacher and everyone. My name is Tiarika, and I'm going to present about my internship or research topic, medical information sharing in trunk. My academic supervisor and my internship tutor is Dr. Tatara. For internship duration.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Judges, you can have questions.
Oh, I will start the question. But I will start by commenting on your presentation. It sounds like you are whispering. I feel like that, and it's a little bit hard for me to listen, to hear you without using a headset. If I listen to you directly from the laptop, it's really hard to understand. Now we'll get to the question. I have a few questions. The first question will be about I heard you as well as the other student, the previous student, talk about implementing SDK, maybe using Java language, and why is it more favorable than the Node.js or the JavaScript that you've been using before? This is the first question. And the second question will be about I'm not sure if you can if you in the position where you can answer the question or not, but you just I would just ask and wait and see. Is it possible, you know, can you suggest or give idea on how existing information system, traditional existing information systems such as web application or web service, something like that, interoperate with new technology and new systems such as blockchain? How can they interoperate or exchange data between two different architecture or technology? That is the end of my question. So I have two questions.
Thank you, teacher. Do you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
For the first question, why we should work with Java programming language? If I do research, so I see that we can change to use Java programming language, but I don't have more knowledge about the Java programming language. So the future work I want to learn about it. For the question 2, how we can transfer the detail or the trunk history to other hospital, like example, you mean like that, teacher?
For example, if there's a hospital used traditional system, information system, like they have web application, they have data in a relational database managed by database management system and all the stuff. How can they share information with other system or other, you may call it P or something like that, a data center that you call P or something like that? How can they exchange with the old system, like with the traditional system that we have before? Because we know that a lot of clinic or cabinet, they have their own small kind of information system. They have the web application to register information about their patient and the medical history and all the stuff. And if we suddenly introduce the new system, use the blockchain technology and all the stuff, what happened to the existing system? Is there a way or to communicate between the two different system? ខ្ញុំចង់និយាយថាបើសិនជាយើងឃើញទៅយើងគេមានclinic អីហ្នឹងគឺគេមានភាគច្រើនមាន software ទូចៗរបស់គេខ្លួនឯងហើយអញ្ចឹងតើយើងធ្វើមិនមាន idea ឬក៏មានអីដែលអាចថាឲ្យ system ទូចៗដែលប្រើ web application ប្រើ relational database ពីមុនហ្នឹងអាច communicate ជាមួយនឹងsystem ថ្មីដែលយើងបានកំពុងតែសិក្សាហ្នឹងណាតោះណាហើយសំណួរទី1ដែលខ្ញុំបានសួរហ្នឹងហើយក៏តាក់តងខ្ញុំឮយើងក៏ដូចជាមិត្តភ័ក្ដិយើងនិយាយពី SDK ឬក៏អីអញ្ចឹងហើយខ្ញុំឆ្ងល់ថាហេតុអីបានជាវានឹងល្អជាងឬមួយក៏វាគួរឲ្យគេចង់ធ្វើជាង Node.js ពីព្រោះខ្ញុំឃើញពួកយើងទាំងពីរទាំង3នាក់គឺបានលើកឡើងពីចំណុចចង់ថា transform ពី Node change ពី Node.js ទៅប្រើ Java ឬក៏អីចឹងខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាហេតុអីបានជាមិន stuck ជាមួយ Node.js ដែលកំពុងធ្វើហើយដូរទៅប្រើ Java ពីរហ្នឹងវាខុសគ្នាមិនហើយវាមួយណាល្អជាង
I'm not sure which one is the best, but I want to tell that I want to change my knowledge about a new one, like change from Node to Java, like this, teacher.
ចាអរគុណច្រើនចុះសំណួរបន្ទាប់តាក់ទងជាមួយនឹងការ change data រវាង system ដែលមាន architecture ខុសគ្នាដែលប្រើ technology ខុសគ្នាហ្នឹងយើងអាចឆ្លើយបានអត់បើយើងអត់ឆ្លើយអត់បានក៏អត់អីដែរ
it in my opinion, but I don't think it's true or not. I like when I saw the doctor paper, like he said that he saw a foreign patient that come to the hospital with the folder of the trunk information
So like it's easy to treat them. But for the technology, I think should use the patient key or something like that, or smart card or like that to make the connection between them. That's all for my
Darika
question. That's all for my answer.
ចាអ្នកគ្រូក៏សួរថាឥឡូវគេមានហើយ system គេមានឥឡូវគេពីមុនគេអត់មាន blockchain ទេគេមាន system គ្រប់គ្រងថ្នាំនៅតាមទីសុទ្ធដ្ឋានណាហើយឥឡូវយើង introduce blockchain អញ្ចឹងតើយើងមានជា recommendation អីអត់ថាឥឡូវ integrate យ៉ាងម៉េចរវាង existing ដែលគាត់ពងទៅប្រើនេះហើយបញ្ចូលគ្នាមួយ blockchain ណាយើងមាន recommendation អីទេ
Not sure, teacher. Sorry.
Okay, so I think we have 5 minutes to receive questions.
For me, don't have question.
Okay, go ahead.
I said I don't have question.
You don't have question? Okay.
Yes.
Pisay, do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you for your presentation. I don't have any actual technical question. I just want to know maybe your future work. How can you explain how might you expand your system? I mean, if continue to develop your system, how can you explain how might it look like? Okay. Like what are the features and function that you will have more? Okay, can you elaborate? Do you understand my question?
Not clearly, teacher.
So now, what are the functions of your current system? Does it just store information on the system? What else? Does it have?
It just
Yeah. Go ahead.
for our system is it just
Này ខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងថា system ដែលយើង develop នៅពេលខាងមុខទៀតបន្តធ្វើទៀតហ្នឹងតើមានអីបន្ថែមពីលើរបស់ដែលយើងកំពុងមានឥឡូវនេះ
yes, I want to learn about more the function in script and description. So now our system not yet can encrypt or decrypt now.
Okay. Just one?
Just one, teacher.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you. So let's move to the 4 presenter, the last one of the researcher related to the blockchain is Mr. Lee Bun Thon. The topic is about the KYC for the banking system using the blockchain technology. So yeah, Pisai, yeah, you can share a quick video. Thank you.
Hello teacher, hello everyone. My name is Liu Bunthon. Today I would like to presentation about KYC for banking system using blockchain technology. My supervisor is Dr. Tendara. Here is some key points for my presentation, and I will cover all of this point today. For the first point is internship overview, and then technology and tool for report, background, problems, objectives, the general concept of blockchain, Hyperledger Fabric, implementation, demonstration, conclusion, and future work. Here is my internship overview. I internship at Information Security and Application Design, where this lab located in Institute of Technology of Cambodia. Head of this lab is my supervisor, Dr. Tendara. My research topic field related to KYC and blockchain technology. And I internship there approximately 3 months. Here is technology and tool for my report. I use Microsoft Word for write my report. Zotero I use for collect, manage, and file reference in my report. And the last tool is Canva. I use for edit slide and record my video presentation. The full meaning of KYC is know your customer, and it is a very important asset for customer management and identity verification system. For this part, I will cover some problem of KYC without blockchain technology. A customer must be submit the same document to each bank if they want to get service from more than one bank. This process, it was a lot of time for customer and bank. For bank, spend a lot of money on system and staff to record information of the customer. All information of the customer stored locally, so this information cannot used by another bank. With blockchain technology, KYC is save a lot of time. Customers submit only one-time document for bank. When bank get document, will record and share information of the customer to the another bank. All cost of the system will share all the corporation bank. With blockchain technology, all information of the customer is immutable. Blockchain, it's come from the word block combined with chain. The system used for record information. It's difficult or impossible to hack or change. In case hacker want to hack or change the value, they need to change value of the block in the system. Here is some key of blockchain technology. All network participants that access to the distributed ledger and it includes the more record of transactions. With the share ledger, transactions are record only one. No participant can change after it's been recorded to the share ledger. If a transaction record include an error, a new transaction must be added to reverse the record and both transactions and then visible. A smart contract can define conditions for corporate transfer, include terms for travel, insurance to be paid, and and much more. For this slide, I will cover how a blockchain works. The data block can store the information, anything as you want, such as who, what, when, where, or anything. The block confirms the exact time and sequence of transactions, and the block links secure together to prevent any block being inserted between two existing blocks. Each addition block verification of the previous block and hence the entire network. Hyperledger Fabric is a blockchain framework which enables privacy and transaction and enable transparency in the network. Here is some key component of Hyperledger Fabric. Membership service provider is a certificate determine the exact permission to assign information actor held in a blockchain network. Orderer is a communication channel for the entire network, and peer and nodes in the network. Peer store ledger data and host the chain code. Tool and technology for my development. I use Git for clone Fabric Simple and switch version of Fabric Simple. And I use Docker for hosting image. I use C URL command line to download Fabric Simple and Docker image. And I use JavaScript for write my chain code or smart contract. KYC with blockchain technology solution. First of all, customer send document and record document in the bank A, and then bank A verify and record document of the customer in the bank A. After that, document of the customer will be shared between bank A and another bank. And now we will go to the demonstration part. First of all, I will go to Fabric Simple folder, and then I will go to the test network folder, and now I write command line to start my network. Okay, now it start. Okay, now it starts successfully, and now I will deploy my chain code. A quick long command, so I copy it to Sultan, and now I pass it, and then yes, it's successful. And now I will set environment variable for organization 1. For this organization, we will use local host 20 and 51. And after that, I will write command line to query all of the customer in the organization 1. Yes, and now we can see the result. Here is all the customer in the organization one. And now I will set environment variable for organization 2. And for organization 2, I will use record hops 90 and 51. And now I will try to query a customer from organization 1 by using ID. Yes, in this case I will use ID, username Sampong. I copy it and then I paste it here. And now, as we can see, we can get information of the user from organization 1 to organization 2. So we can share from organization 1 to organization 2. Conclusion and future work. For my internship, I understand the general concept of blockchain technology. I know how Hyperledger Fabric works, and I implemented using Hyperledger Fabric. For my future work, I will implement using Node.js SDK with user interface, and after that, I will deploy a production level. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you have any question, please kindly ask me.
Okay, thank you. So this is a question session. We have 10 minutes to have questions and answer. Thank you.
All right. Do you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Are there any noise? It's fine, right?
Silent. Yes, it's perfect.
All right. Okay. So in your slide presentation, you explained about the KYC with blockchain solution. You said that how it works is the customer send document and record to the bank A, and then bank A verify and record document in bank A. Can you explain how it can verify here? Because I just you know that I don't have background with blockchain, so I'm not sure. I just want to know how it can verify that the record is correct like that. How can bank A verify the record?
Yes, thank you for your question. For my first time for blockchain technology, I just learned about the concept. All the customer I just write insert in my code. So in this step, I cannot verify, but I just show the use case that we can share all the information of the customer can share between bank A to bank B and bank C, but in the step we cannot verify the customer. It will be my next step. I will do it. I hope.
Actually, he is. My question is not how you do verify. I just want to see how to understand the concept behind it. It doesn't mean that in your work you need to do the verification here. Do you understand here? I'm not asking you if you have done it or not. I just want to know how can they verify the record.
For my work, as I do, I just write my insert the customer and then share information between banks right now.
Well, okay, so maybe I change the question then.
Yes.
You have explained how blockchain work in slide number 9. Maybe can you explain me again?
Yes.
I want to get to understand more about blockchain.
Yes. Blockchain, it's combined with the word block and chain. It in the block we can store anything as you want. You can change the transaction, change name or temperature, and each block will chain together, and the previous block will has to the first block will has to the previous block. That's why make blockchain is secure. If in case hacker want to hack, they need to change all the value, because each value of the hash it verified to each another. That's why its blockchain is secure.
You mentioned about channel and you mentioned about block. What are the difference between channel and block?
About channel is about a channel in Hyperledger Fabric. We can make organization 1 and organization 2 connect each another between the channel.
So do we have multiple channel then?
Yeah, we can add multiple channel, but in my case I use only one channel to Daemon.
But normally in real case they will have multiple channel, right? You mean like
that? Yeah. In real case we can make a lot of channels to connect each another.
And what about block? Block here, do you refer to user or you refer to data?
Block we refer to like a database. We can store anything in the block.
Does it have a size limit or what? Or does it have support different type of data or whatever you put inside? It doesn't have any constraint.
You can store anything, but about size I'm not sure. It limit or not.
Does it have a spec limit? Let's say I have a 2 GB data. Can I put inside one block?
Maybe it's too big, because all the data in the block we need to hash it, and if we put shoot data in a one block, it might be a shoot of the hash function.
So you say there is a limit, but you don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about size of each block.
Okay. All right, and I think that's it for me.
So Yeah, I think it's time already. So we can have a question from Visay. Do you have any question?
Okay, maybe just one short question. Thank you for your presentation. So your topic is about know your customer. I'm not sure the term. I'm not sure about the terms, but can you tell me what kind of data that the customer will have to give to the bank, your bank, and what is bank here? What would be the actual the player in the real business case?
Yeah. Thank you for your question. For example, in the ABA bank, when you go to use the service at the ABA bank, you need to register your name, right? So when you register your name and your credential will record there. And then when you after you verify with the bank, when you go to next time, you no need to record or verify again. You have a credential to get a service there, and the bank know that you are a customer there. I hope it is your answer.
Okay. So can it apply in some other kind of business, not just bank?
Yeah. It we can apply on even like especially in the bank or e-commerce, or even like in social media as well. When we register and then they will record our credential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one more question, because you are also the master student. So how will you expand your work? Will you continue this work in your research work, or will you find something new?
Yes. Thanks for your good question. For this step, if I just start pinpoint with blockchain technology, for my network, I will go with SDK and use user interface to interact with the user, and then I will deploy a production network.
Will you do more research about existing work and compare the result, maybe?
Yes.
Just continue to develop.
Yeah. I will continue to develop on my work.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your answer.
Yes. Thanks, teacher.
Okay, thank you very much for the first session of the afternoon defense. So now we actually, as planning, we going to have 20 minutes for a break, but due to time constraint, I limit to 10 minutes only. So you all have 10 minutes to do a small break, have a coffee at your home, stay, and we will come back at 3:15 p.m. Yeah. See you all.
Okay, well, see you.
Bye.
Okay. Is everyone here?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so we start now.
No, Nico one now. No.
I'm here.
Okay. I think we can start then.
Okay, so we will now start the second session of this afternoon. We start from Mr. Ang Ming Chu. Okay, so the internship is about customer relationship management. So let me start the video recording now. Let me share, include sound.
Excited to share what I have learned so far during my. Hello, teacher, and hello, everyone. This is Wei Chung Ang, and today I'm so excited to share what I have learned so far during my internship. First of all, I would like to say thank you to my supervisor, Teacher Vanna, which always guide me and advise me. And moreover, I'm really thankful to Mr. Chon Sok King for providing me this opportunity to join his team, also Smarriata. And today I'm going to talk about customer relationship management, which is my topic during my internship. And now let's move to the next slide. And today I have 6 content to share to all of you. First is introduction, company overview. As we have known that Smarriata is Cambodia telecommunication service provider, which was founded by Mr. Thomas Huk in 2008. And Smarriata is focused on service providers such as internet providers, SIM card providers, service provider, and resource provider. Second, task overview. Why do we need customer relationship management at Smarriata? We need customer relationship management at Smarriata because of the problem of customer always happen every day from a customer to another customer. And when the problem happen, the customer is not able to use any service such as call in, call out, use internet data, and could not subscribe to any service. And in this role, I have 4 main tasks to work as daily, such as handle problem of customer, manage on inventory, privilege role permission, and also support internal problem. What is customer relationship management or CRM? Customer relationship management play an important role in a business to earn trust from customer, build good relationship between customer and company, improve quality of production, manage company relationship, and interaction with the customer and potential customer. Objective of CRM or customer relationship management is to make customers satisfied with the service, make customers feel connected with the company, to manage relationship between company and customer, and also to manage the inventory in the warehouse. And last one is to manage the role permission of user in the system. Process of SIM card. There are 2 types of SIM card. One is prepaid SIM and another one is postpaid SIM. Prepaid SIM is the SIM that is required to top up the balance first before using the data or internet. For postpaid SIM is the SIM that automatically renew data at the end of the month, and meaning that we don't need to top up the balance for postpaid SIM and we can use data as normal. Here we see blank SIM, normal SIM, life cycle of SIM, blank SIM. Blank SIM is the SIM that haven't bind with any number, so the status is normal at the beginning in the inventory. The status bind here, we see the status bind here in the inventory is when the blank SIM bind with the number. And the status lock here is when the SIM is locked by other department, so we cannot take it to use or sell. And we see the status sold and pre-sold here. The status sold is when the SIM already sold to the customer. And for pre-sold is the SIM that is still putting on sale. Normal SIM. Normal SIM is the SIM that we are done binding the blank SIM with the number. So after bind the blank SIM with the number, we get another status is idle. The status active. The status active here, we have to register the customer with the normal SIM first. And the customer will be the subscriber and the SIM will change status from idle to the active. Life cycle of SIM. Active status. Active status is when the SIM has balance and it is effective for a week or 7 days. And in this active status, subscriber are able to perform such as use internet data, call in, call out, subscribe to any service or plan. And after 7 days, the status will change to bearing status, which effective for 2 months or 60 days. And in the bearing status, the customer are able to receive call only. And after 60 days, the status will change to the suspend status. And it is effective for 30 days or 1 month. And the subscriber is not able to do anything, even another subscriber call in. And in this status, subscriber has to top up the balance to make the life cycle of SIM card reset again. Aging pool status. Aging pool status is the status that the subscriber has to come to the shop to activate the SIM again. And it is effective for 3 days. If the subscriber doesn't come to activate the SIM again, in this status, the SIM will be deactivated and put on sale again. So analysis and design. And here is the timeline of my internship. In the first week, I have to request to install software, request VPN to connect to the server and to access the system. Second week, I got some document on configuration and manage on inventory from my teammate. And for third week, I have to learn the system flow and the flow of SIM card as I mentioned above. And after this, I have to perform my job as well. And moreover, I have assisted in role permission matrix project, which mainly focus on arranging the role and permission of the user again, and also privilege permission to the user. Besides this, I have to practice on developing project which required from my boss to create a personal project that have crude operation in the project. And to do this to make me be ready for the upcoming project. Use case diagram. Here is the CRM use case diagram. Here just the main function in CRM, such as handling problem, manage on inventory, register subscriber, and manage on SIM card or resource. And this is just the main function, and there are a lot of small sub-functions inside this main function. Here is the entity relationship diagram of SIM card that we store department status of the SIM card type, and also MDN or we call number department status, and also the information of the subscriber. Here is the use case diagram of my small system that I have implemented, such as login, register, room, list room, rent room, edit room, reset room, and delete room. And here also the entity relationship diagram of my small system that I have 3 types of user, room, and customer. One user can create many rooms, and one customer can rent a room only, or a room can be rented by a customer. And here is the attribute or information of the table. And 4, implementation. Technology. At SmartData, I use my SQL as a database, and for tool, I use PLSQL, UI, Cisco AnyConnect to connect VPN to their server. And for my rental system, I use Node.js as front end and Laravel framework as back end. And database, I use my SQL, and tool, I use Visual Studio Code to write the code, and Postman for testing API. And here is the query problem of SIM card, and also the query example that I have learned from SmartData. System flow. This workflow is to manage on the inventory. First, I have to access to the system, and after that, I have to log in with my user. If the user doesn't have, I have to request to other team to register for me. And after log in the user, I can go to the inventory operation. After the go to inventory operation, I can move to the item code, which is with sub operation of the inventory. And inside the item code, I have to check item code name. If it is existing, I can move to the next step to the vendor. And if not existing, I have to request to other team to release the item. And in the vendor, also the same. I have to check the product. If it is existing, I can move to the next step. This is resolved. If not existing, I have to add into the vendor. After this is resolved, the item, I can go to task monitor to check the status. If it is success, I can use the function
catch SYN and menu SYN and update global catch. And if it's not a success, I have to check the problem. And to use these three functions to synchronize the data to other system. And also here is a system flow of my small practice. And we have user log in. If no, we have to register. And if yes, we can run room, update room, delete room, add room, reset room, and log out. Yes. And in conclusion, I have gained and learned new things from real working environment, gain knowledge on business process, knowing the process of SIM card, and work as a team, improve my knowledge on query data from database, gain my skill on developing website also. And for my perspective, I think that the company should prepare the user guide or document on configuration problem to the newcomer, because sometimes I have no idea with the problem of SIM card, because it also happened with the new problem every day. And I rank IP and port to request VPN for each rule for only once time only. In this, I have to request every time that I want to perform new operation. And arrange for my small system, I think I should arrange the flow and database again and to make it usable and develop the remaining function and add more function. And difficulty as Marietta, I have conflict meeting at the same time, so I could not focus on both and support customer every day when they need, even Sunday or Saturday, and new task without any document or guide. So I have to go to ask my team or other team to solve the problem. And sometimes it can be hard. Yes, and also urgent case with the large amount of problem. And yes, and here is the reference. And now let's move to demonstration part. Hello teacher, welcome to my demo part. Here is my small system which I have implemented during my internship. And this is just a practice before the upcoming projects are fine. In the system, I have implemented the user authentication, such as sign in, sign up. And now I'm going to sign up. I put 1 until 6, and this one I put 1 until 7. Yes, the password doesn't match. And now, if we put it empty, password and confirm, password should not be empty. Now I put 1 until 8. We have to check format of password with 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase, 1 special character and number and H string. And now I put the right password. The user is created, and now we are going to sign up. Sign in, sorry. Yes, you are logged in, and something changed here. We get the button log out and add room. Here, now I'm going to add room. Data is available, we cannot choose unavailable. Here's the price. For phone number. Here, after it is listing here. And here is the room detail with bedroom, living room, restroom, and study room. And we can run for the customer by writing his name, his email, and his phone number. Let's end. And we can go here to go to run and see the information of customer that then and this data of the room is unavailable. Yes, and now we can edit the room. And also customer name. If we don't want to edit customer information, we can keep the same.
the information already detected, and we also can reset the room here. And now let's go to see. Yes, after reset the room, the status is available because the customer stopped renting the room, so we have to reset, and the price still the same, and we can delete the room. Yes, and yes, that's all for my demo. Thank you. And any question, don't hesitate to ask.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. So, is there any lecturer want to ask a question?
I will have a question about you have the activity diagram about the inventory. You have shown about that. Yeah. What kind of system is it? Is it a system that with the UI interface, or a system that you use? Is it with UI, or does it need to be use command line or use some kind of web service, XML file or anything? Can you explain?
Yes, let me say hello again to all teacher and everyone, and thank you for your question, teacher. For my system flow, I use an GBS system that have UI interface for the system. But before access to the system, I have to use query first to query the resource from the database, and I can have data to manage on inventory in the system.
So which part of the diagram that are needed using the query to verify all kind of all the decision part or some part?
In this, I haven't mentioned about the query before accessing into the system, and I already put in my report. And each time that I have to go to the system on to config on the inventory or config problem or SIM card, I have to query the data first, and to know the problem of customer, or to get the resource of to get the number of resource to manage on inventory or solve the problem for customer. And sometimes I need to request for help from other team to help me, because there are many systems inside Smart Data. So I have to remember how to solve the problem. And when I meet the new problem, I have to ask my team how could I solve it. Yes.
One last question. What have you learned? What have you gained in terms of technical skill during the internship? And are you satisfied with the lesson you learned from that period or not?
Yes, I think I have mentioned in the conclusion, and during this internship, I have improved my knowledge on query data and know the structure a little bit of company database, just not all of them, because I can learn only just a small part of database only. And also I gain on the process of working and also how to work. And when the first time I joined the company, I don't know where I should start and what should I do at first. Yes. Any other question, teacher?
Next group, do you have any questions?
It's the end from my part. I finished
Okay,
asking question.
thank you. Okay. Yeah. I have a very small question related to your difficulties, and I saw that you have the conflict during the meeting. So every time, what are the solutions to solve the conflict?
Yes, thank you for your question. At the first time of my meeting, I have a conflict meeting, onboarding meeting, and also talk another meeting is talk about the status of SIM card. And so for this answer, I think I could not focus on both at the same time. So I think which one is priority. So I will focus on it. And when my boss or other member talk about something else, so I can move to another meeting to listen. Or we also have record, and I can watch the record again. Yes. Thank you for your question, teacher.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's all from me. Mr. Tauda, you can can ask questions if you can.
Okay. Your project is about customer relationship management, and I see in the objective you mentioned a lot. Well, for example, to make the customer satisfied with service, to make customers stay connected. I see there are a lot of objectives here, and the program that you have built so far, is it complete, or does it resolve all those objectives or not yet?
Oh, thank you for your question. For my system that I built, it is for my personal system that requires from my boss to practice it. And it is for rental system. And for customer relationship management, I work as daily to solve the problem and configure the problem of the customer. And moreover, I have to manage on the inventory. And for my small system, as I mentioned in perspective, I haven't completed it because I need to do more remaining function and add more function on, also arrange the flow and database again to make it usable. Yes. Thank you, teacher.
I see. So when you mention about that you have a lot of meeting, is it about your small project, or is it about the CRM?
No, for small project, my boss just tell me, you have to implement a personal project for practice, and use Laravel or PHP. And inside the small system have the CRUD operation only. And for the meeting, I have to join. It is about sometimes it is about the progress of working, and sometimes it is about the flow, the management flow, or the amount of problem of SIM card, or amount of problem of customer. Yes. And also we have to solve some problem, we have to create meeting to solve it. Some problem is complex, and we have to spend time for 3 or 4 days to solve for customer. If we don't solve for customer, the customer will have strong complaint and post on the social media and mention to the page of Smartdata. So we have to prevent it.
So I'm getting confused again. Then what are your responsibility at your company?
For my responsibility at the company or in this role, I have to handle of the problem of the customer, and also manage on inventory, and also privilege role permission of the user in the system, and also support internal problem when other staff meet the problem with the browser, they cannot access to the system, or something else happen. Yes, like they do something like wrong, put the information wrong, so I have to query to update for them.
So is it like IT support? Is it like that?
Yes, maybe can call like that. Because I have to support every time, even Saturday or Sunday.
I see. And are you satisfied with your job over there then?
First, I'm really not sure about it. Because customer relationship management is new about me. It's new for me, and when I joined at the first time, I don't really know what should I do and what should I handle in this role and what is my task. And when I joined for 1 month and a half, and I'm really yes, sometimes feel not satisfied with this job also. And yes, that's all, teacher.
Okay. All right. That's it for me.
Okay, I want to ask a little bit. So I I was also confused with your work. So you have many different tasks that are not relevant to each other. Okay, that's right. Am I correct?
Yes, teacher.
So you develop a small system here. So will you use this system for something later or not?
Yes, as I mentioned that I have to arrange the flow again and the database again to make it usable and add more remaining function. Yes, teacher. And I have to get an idea from my friend also. What is the next function that you want, payment function or something else? Or I have to separate it to two parts, front system and back system. One is for customer and another one is for admin system. Yes, to make it usable.
Yeah. So this will be implemented where? It is not in Smart Axiata or just your personal project?
No. This is just a personal project and it is in my local computer.
Okay, I see.
My boss just required me.
Okay.
Yes. My boss just required me to build a small system that has crude operation only. That he want to evaluation on my coding skill or my developing skill. That I can be ready for the upcoming project only, just like that.
Upcoming project. So, do you know what the project will be or not?
When I joined the Smart, my team already finished the project and also integration to the system. And for the upcoming, I'm so sad about that. I already left Smart already.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. So we will now move to the next candidate.
Yes.
That will be, let me check, Mr. Run Panjarwat. Okay. So let me find your video.
Hello teacher, my name is Panjura. Today I would like to talk about Magfood merchant web application. So here is my supervisor and company advisor and duration of my internship and even the company that I intern. So this is my content. Let's move to the next part. For the first part, I will present about the company overview. So for MagCircle is a company that developed the tool for business, such as like Circle application used for managing the work and job announcement, even CV to apply the job. And one more refer to Magfood use is the application used for e-commerce. So let's move to the next part, refer to project overview. So for the problem, I divide it as two, like merchant problem and project problem. For merchant problem, if they don't have like the application or web application to manage their own staff in their restaurant, so it's really difficult for them to do it. And one more, they have to spend much time on doing report like which product is the top product they sell or whatever, and the other one they have to manually calculation if they don't have like application or web application. And for the project problem, before I intern, the web application is not support for new API version 6. So that's the problem of the project as well. So let's move on to the Marfood merchant web application. So for Marfood web application, like used to have the restaurant owner or shop owner to make their own stuff like product, order, delivery, etc. And it's also provide the full functionality to have merchant and to save their time as well, save their time and even the money. Like they don't have to spend a lot on the employee, so they can manage all the stuff in the web application. So let's move on to the objective of the web application. So we create the web application to give helping tool for merchant that can manage their own thing like product, order from customer, even membership, also the employee as well. And that web application also have like transaction for can get the transaction for the customer and do the calculation. So it means that in that web we can generate the report as well. Even we can generate the invoice to send to the customer. So let's move on to the next part, refer to the project feature. So this is the feature that the company assigned, like reports, manage orders, so on. Let's move on to the analysis and design. So for timeline, I don't have like specific, so I know only for first week, I learned the new technology, analyze the requirement for the rest of the week. I start do the implement and testing. So the task is really dynamically to work on those weeks. So let's move to the next part, refer to physical architecture. So as I mentioned, the new API version 6, the web application is not support. So it means that the company requests me to do the front end part. So I will explain only the front end specifically. So this is the physical architecture. First, the client will do the HTTP request. And then in the service front end, we'll do the HTTP request to the API server. And then we'll respond, the API server will respond back and send to the web server, and web server will send to the client browser. So here, let's move on to the logical architecture. So it's the same thing, but thing that different, like the controller, we don't have like model. So that part we have like tool helper, which use Glosor API to do the HTTP request and respond from API server. And after that, we return the view and element in layout and respond to the client browser. So let's move on to the use case diagram. So here the use case diagram, we have like owner and manager can do the same thing after they log in, and for waiter they can do only 2 feature, and for cashier they can do 7 feature after they log in. So let's move on to the implementation. Here is the technology that I use in internship. So for Google Map API used for render the map on the application. For OneSignal used for notification. For simple QR code used to generate the QR code. And the other one, Glosor, used for HTTP requests and response. Let's move on to the graph solution. For merchant, they request for some pay for graph operation. They don't have to reload the whole page once they do the graph operation. So the best way to do that, I create this structure. First, I have to create a class object which contain a graph method, and then I have to instance the class UI which contain the method like return the DOM. And then once the merchant itself do the graph operation, it will replace the DOM in the content. So that's how I work on graph operation without refreshing the page. So this is the convert image workflow. So for the company, they request like if the image over 1 megabyte, they have to compress the image. So I create the function for compress image, like toBlom function, which we can reduce the quality of the image and then convert it to file. And then after that, I create like function for convert image workflow. So I take compress image function. After I check the image size, like over 1 megabyte, I will compress image, and if not, I will convert it to file directly. So that's how convert image workflow work. So let's move on to conclusion. So this is my result. So as I mentioned, this web application is existing web application. So there are some update feature, new feature, and the status like some is complete and some is not. Only few is not complete. So let's move on to the next part. Refer to difficulty and perspective. For difficulties, like the part that is really difficult, like customize the Google Map, marker, so on. And one more refer to convert and crop the image. And the other stuff refer to the logic and flow of the manage order. For perspective, if I have enough time, I want to complete the uncompleted task. And one more, I want to change the technology if I can request again, like change from Laravel or Laravel template, Blade template framework to React.js as front end, and then for Laravel, just respond as the secure API. So we can use React.js to improve and optimize the whole page because it is one single page. So let's move to demonstration. I will do demo 3 parts. One is manage product and other one refer to order, and the last I will show a demo about report. So that's it for demo. That's it. I will move to the demonstration. So first, here I will do demonstration. So first we have to run command to run the project. So let's refresh again. So I just log in, I just skip the login part. So first I want to show about the manage product. So here the query 3, so I want to create the query 4. So I name query 4 and then make it as product, make it food, and choose the image like curry. So add small like $12 per unit, sugar 100 gram, chicken, spicy, and submit the form. So the product has been created and we want to change the status to out of stock. So it's out of stock, and then we want to edit as well. So the thing we want to crop the image. So submit. So the product has been updated here. So let's move to the manage order. So right here we can change like sold out. It will alert to the customer, and then we change it back, and then we can like accept the order. Yep. Then go to preparing. We can cancel the order if sold out, like it's out of stock for chicken, and we can mark as done. When marked as done, we can see in the serve menu. For serve, can mark as pay, but that API doesn't work anymore after I leave the intern. Here is the pay. We can generate the report or generate the invoice. Yep, here the problem is font Khmer in right here. It does work well, but we can generate the invoice as well. So let's move on to history order. For history order, we can see the report as well. We can see the invoice as well. So for all order, I want to see the cancel of the chicken. So show the result like shop close. And one more, I want to show refer to the report. So it logging. So as a report for employee wage, the API they just update for current version like version 6. So I have no idea why it doesn't work and get error for the backend side. And here I just filter 365 days. Yes, for sale, summary, or the part like we got the revenue, so on, total order. And for this one, we can filter as well for top product that get order like 365. So right here, we can see the order. So that's all my demonstration.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Now let's move to question and answer. And
So
Rona, you can ask.
I will start the question. I have question about converting image and compressing. So I understand that you need to compress it if it is file size big, but why you need to convert it? You convert image from what format to which format? So this is the first question, and the second question is about why the application architecture have to separate between like the front end web application into front end and into API server. Why not simply use a model or only one web application? So it's only two questions.
So can I answer number 2 first?
Yeah.
Like for they spread as two application because like for front end they want to do encryption in the middle side. As I mentioned, like we want to encryption at the middle side API. So like the merchant they want like security or something, and one more the company want to spread it like spreadly from backend and API server and front end server. And for the first question, like the thing in JavaScript when I do research, mostly first we have to convert the image to the canvas. So the canvas can do the operation like make it low quality, but there's no other way like do like after I'm not sure about that, but in my part can I explain as flow because I cannot so right here in functionality compress, like for mostly the element of the re-input is file. So that file we have to convert it to the image, and then after that the image will load as the source. Mostly the file that we get is the link from the API, and then the only way to do that we have to convert the file to image, and then the image will convert it to canvas. After the canvas, in canvas there is a function that we call toBlow. toBlow function is the functionality that we can change the quality of the image. So for canvas, after we change toBlow to the low quality, and then we have to convert that canvas to file to make request to the API, because the API just accept only file. Mostly before that they just use like base 64 to store as the string. So right now they want to convert it to file and send. And one more, the server cannot contain like over 1 megabyte for each image, so they need to compress it. And then we take the compress to check in convert. So convert image we do the same, but the thing is different. We just check the canvas and post that file into the compressed image.
So you say you can limit the image size to under 1 megabyte?
Yes, like it refers to the percentage you want to change. Like you want to compress only 30% of the image. So if you're maybe under 1 megabyte, but the image may be cut or draw, something like that.
That's why I don't understand how it works here, because when you said that the server limit the image to under 1 megabyte, imagine that the user upload a very big image, maybe 20 to 30 megabyte, a very high quality image, and maybe another user upload image as well, but maybe just a small 2 to 3 megabyte. How can you guarantee that the image, the final image, is still under 1 megabyte?
Yes, that's the reason. First, the thing that I do implement, like I test like 25 megabyte first for the image, and then when I compress, mostly it just go to around 500 kilobyte. So first thing I have to test like 70% or 30%. So in that part, I have to check the condition as well. Over 1 megabyte, so I will convert for compressed image, and I didn't detail about how many percent of the image that I compress, because refer to megabyte that they have.
I don't really understand. So you mean that you compress it and you test it is still bigger than 1 megabyte, you compress again like that, or what?
No, mostly like toBlow function, they really reduce the size of the image. So like mostly if I put like 70% of the image, so and I draw it just small one, the size of the image will compress to the value, like if like 25 megabyte, it compressed to 500. If like 1 megabyte or 1 megabyte, it compressed to 90 kilobyte, something like that.
So the percentage here, you set it statically like
Yeah.
that, right?
Sure. First, I want to implement like check by the value, but it's too difficult. like for each of them have to dynamically.
Yeah, I see the problem here because imagine they upload a very poor image and you limit to 30%.
Yes.
The final image might be very blur, right?
Sure.
Okay, so it's the even now this is your solution, right? Even now.
Solution mostly I should check for each megabyte until 25 to make sure the quality of image can at least not blur at all.
I mean the product that you have done so far is still set to 30%, right?
Yes, like the image quality 70% at most.
Okay. And I don't understand about the canvas here because when you say the way to compress image, you convert it first to canvas, and then you use the function to blob to convert it back to compress it. Is there other way, or maybe there's a way solution because it's kind of new to me as well. I'm not sure.
For this, like the canvas contain the function, other function like to blown function. So I have no idea the other way to make it like implement myself, but I use other like API from JavaScript. So I use the canvas one.
Okay. In slide number 6, you mentioned about the new API version 6. Maybe I didn't touch you about when you explained about it. Can you tell me what is that API version 6 here referred to?
So in Maxicro, they for backend they update from one version to another version. For first version, they just leave many functionality. So when they update to new functionality, the API up to version 6, the web application doesn't work at all. Like only 30% and 20% of the web application is work well. For other, like do operation, CRUD operation, or go to the other page is load error.
So you say version 6 here refer to the API that that your company has.
Yeah, the company. Yes.
You say so, I get more confused here because I believe that the API is developed internally in your company, right?
Yes.
And you said that many product of that company doesn't support the new version.
Yes, like the front end doesn't support for new version.
So you mean the team that developed the API doesn't care about the front end to support it?
Mostly they spread the front end and back end separately. So the API, they develop only the API and make the document of the API. So the front end has to follow by the API and fix it mostly.
Okay. And in your company, there are many projects, right? Not just one.
Yes, like outside project and personal company project.
And the version 6 here refer to the project MacFood, right?
Yes, MacFood. The site on merchant MacFood, not the customer one. There is customer and there is like driver as well.
Is it already in a production? I mean, is there customer using it?
They still do implement for a customer. They use it.
I see.
Like, yes.
Okay, that's it for me. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Is there any question? Can Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay, so thank you. So let's move
Yes.
to the last candidate of today. The next session is Mr. Sokwanam. Okay, let me find your video.
Greeting everyone. Today I'm very excited because I got a chance to do a presentation about my 3-month internships. And in this presentation, I would like to tell you about what I have been doing, what I have achieved, and some more during my 3-month internship. So without further ado, let's go to content about my today presentation together. So here is my content, and this content consists of 5 main points. The first one is introductions. I will introduce you all about a company I have done my 3-month internships. And for the second one is about project overview. This part I will talk about the problem why stock and sale management project need to be implemented, and also its objective and project's feature. For the third one is implementations. And this part, I will show the technology that is used in order to implement this project along with flowchart example. And the fourth one is about a conclusion. And in this part, I will express the result of my 3-month internship to see what part I have completed in this project. So let's move to the introduction part. The company that I done my internship with is called Songkap Technology, which is founded by Mr. Rirat, and he also my project manager and company advisor for my internship. This company is specialized in web development, mobile development, software development, and more. So let's move to the second main point, is about project overview. So let's talk about why this project exists. So as the stock manager, when you manage product manually, you will probably get confused where you store the item. It's okay if your stock is not big, but when your stock start increasing and become bigger and bigger, you will get confused where you put them, and it will become hard to manage them properly. So when you cannot manage them properly, it will be difficult to find the product or the item you wanted. So it can waste your time. Sometimes it could be hours, or worst case could be a day, and so on. So that is why stock and sale management system needs to be implemented in order to help the stock managers to save their time and money, also feel secure while using this system. So let's move to the project picture. So before I start, I just want to let you know that I don't get to know all the whole project, like how it works or how many features it has, because during my internship, I only handle some part of the projects. And the module that I list here is just what I know, but it doesn't mean I implemented all of that. I only implement some of them. So here are the project feature of the projects. It's contain a lot of modules such as product, and in product we have unit item type, and item, and each of them have functions such as list item. So it fetching all the data from the server and list them in the table, and the data can be listed by name, code, and more, from ASIN to DSIN or DSIN to ASIN. In addition, the table comes with a pagination, which we can navigate to the next item list easily. And furthermore, the table also contains page size options, which allow users to decide how many items per page they want to display. And moreover, the table also has function to filter item by its category and date, which make user easy to look for them. The second function is search. User can search item directly by their names. When we search, it will trigger a function to make requests to the server in order to retrieve the proper data and display it in the table. And furthermore, the search value remain if we do not clear it. So the next time we visit the product, it will still remember the search value and display the data that is matched with the search value. And the next function is add. This function allows user to add an item to the list, and each input field has its own validation, such as word limit, and checks the name is already exists or not, in order to prevent user to duplicate the item. And the next function is edit items. The function allows user to make change to the item that already exists, and it also has validation like add item functions. And delete item, this function allows user to delete an existing item, and this function also check if the item is being used or not. If not, the item can be deleted, otherwise it cannot be deleted. And the next function is preview items. This function allows user to look at the detail of the product that is exist in the table. And in addition, this in preview mode, user can jump directly to edit or delete without exit from the preview. They still have another function, but I only describe all of these, the main function only. So for the next module is setting. So in setting, user can manage setting like cashier, payment method, and seller, outlet, template, currency, auto number, or report and report group. And its function is similar to the previous one that I have mentioned, like function add, edit, delete, preview, and can be more. And accounting allow user to manage like account item, account type, account mapping, asset item, asset type, and transaction, and have the similar function to the previous one also. And the purchase allow user to manage a bill, receipt, and vendor, and it function also similar to the previous one. Sell allow user to manage customer, invoice, quotation, and receipt, and also have the same function as the previous one. Security allow user to manage apps, module, permission, role, tenant, and user. And last but not least, stock allow user to manage land cost, shipping method, warehouse, stock balance, stock count, delivery, receive, stock summary, and stock transfer. So it's just some module that I know I mentioned, and it can be more module than that in this project. And for the part that I handle, I will explain later in the conclusion part. So let's move to the implementation part. So here are some technology that we used to build this project, and it's just some of them, and it could be more in this project. So the first one is Angular. Angular is one of the most popular free open source web application frameworks for building single-page client application nowadays. And Angular is a TypeScript base which allows programmer to enhance the way of writing more efficient code for web development. And the next technology is NG0. So NG0 is an Angular UI component library. They contain a lot of useful components. And the next one is NGX Translate Core/Core, used with Angular to be able to localize our application, like implement language Khmer and English, and can be more in our application. So for the version control, we use GitHub to share the code and collaborate in team. And the next one is .NET Core. We also use that. And we also use Docker, and last but not least, Redis, and it can be more. Let's move to another part. I will show you the simple example on how the add, edit, delete item process works. So for the add functions, when we click it, it will check whether the code is already set in the system setting or not. So if the code in the setting is already set, in the form, we can fill the code data, because the system will generate the order of the code for us when we add the item. But if the code does not, set in the system, in the system setting, you can fill the code manually. And after you have filled the required data, if all the data is valid according to its validations, so you can add the item. So if the data is not valid, the button save will disable, so you cannot add it. So let's move to the edit part. When you click edit, you just edit the part that you want to change, and if the data that you feel is valid, you will be able to edit it. But if not, the edit button will disable and you cannot edit it. So for the delete part, when you click the delete, first it will check whether the item can be deleted or not. If the item can not be deleted, it will show the message about the item cannot be deleted, and it ends the process. But if the item can delete it, you can just fill the note, and it's optional. You can fill it or not, just leave it blank. It's okay. And then the data, check if the data is valid. So if it is valid, you can delete it, and if not, the button delete will disable and you cannot delete the product. So that's pretty much it for the process. So let's move to the conclusion part, and here is the result of my 3-month internship. So there are several modules that I handle. The first one is the product module, and in product module I list unit, list item type with a search, filter, sort from ASIN to DSIN, from DSIN to ASIN, and pagination, the table with pagination, with page size, and function edit, delete, add, and copy, and I completed it. And another module is general setting module, and in general setting module, I list auto number, template, currency, outlet, report group with the same function as a product module. And I also display its property by its category. And for the report, I list report dynamically from database based on its category, and it's also complete. And I also make a report generate dynamically with a function export PDF, export Excel, Word, and also print functions. And I also create a dynamic form that used in that report to display the input based on the type of report. And the next one is not a module, it's just a share the thing that I made to use across the component. I create a share validation, and in those validation include phone, email, max length, check name exists, check code exists, check integer, price, decimal, and more. And I create this validation to use in all the form, and also complete that. And last but not least is system setting. I list item setting, stock setting, sell setting, purchase setting, and tenant setting. And I also create a save function in order to make request change to the system setting. So that's all from my result. So let's move to the next point. I will show you demonstrations about these applications. So before I start, I just want to let you all know that
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, because my internet connection has just it's kind of unstable right now. So if you cannot hear the presentation, let me know.
I can see the presentation.
project is still in development. It's not finished yet. So let's start our demonstration. So in this demonstration, I only show the part where I can edit item, delete item, and add item. So now when you visit the page, you have to log in the page. So now I will insert my account. So when I log in, we'll get a home page. So I will navigate to the item part. So when we click add here, like I told you, the code is disabled because we already set it in system setting. So if we want to insert it manually, you have to go here, stock, and then do not select any thing. So when you go back, when you click add, you can add it manually. But if you want the code to generate by itself, you have to click here and choose the type of code you want to generate. Here I choose the code name, and then it will show the current order of this code. So I click save, and then I go back to here, and then it will disable. So I have to enter bullet point here. The validation it will check whether the name is already exists or not. So if I copy the existing name, it will display the error message like here. We cannot add it. So I will insert name like this, choose like this, and barcode and select unit. And this all is validation. We have to import the valid number in order to add the product. So if I click save, here the code number is generated by itself, and here's the item that we just add. So if we add another one, it will generate a code according to its current order. So this one is already exists, and just here, and then here we can see that the code is generated by itself and increasing by itself. So here we can add, we can edit, and just edit the name to something else, and then see we can search the name here, and we can also list by it type, it category. So you get back to the front page, and then you can delete. Click delete, it will be deleted. I cannot find the part where the item cannot be deleted, because when I deleted it, I requested to the backend, so the backend decide whether it can be deleted or not. But I did not handle the backend part, so I don't know when it cannot be deleted. But I will show you the sample. If we cannot delete it, it will show example like this. So for the item type, if I cannot delete it, here it will show the warning message like this. So, and there is no delete button, so you cannot delete it. So I think this is the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening and paying attention. Thank you. Greeting everyone. Today.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Now it's time for questions. So if lecturer have question, please ask.
All right, I can start first. And by the way, in your slide presentation, I cannot find the use case diagram. How many type of user do you have?
For that, thank you for the question, teacher. But for that part, as I mentioned in the in the slide presentation, I did not handle the whole process. I just handled some part of that project manager told me to do. So I did not understand how the overall the whole project works. And he just provide me an account to log in, and we use the UI. That's it.
So you said that you work only on the front end, and for the back end, they only provide you the login like that. You mean like that?
Yeah, teacher, provide me a user account to log in and view all the UI, so I can work on it.
Okay. If you say so, how do you work on the authorization? I mean, how do you know that which feature should be enabled for user to see and which feature that shouldn't allow user to see. How can you do that?
Which feature allow user to use, right?
Yes, kind of like that. Maybe system
Yes.
setting. You want to disable it.
I don't know how he do it, but he provide me an account, and this account can only view what I show you in the presentation slide. So there can be more module than that, but this account can only use for that. But for if you want to know whether I can change, user can delete this product or not, user can the URL that I have to make request to in order to get it done. He provide me a Swagger that contain a list of a UI URL that I can make request to in order to implement the project. Am I answering your question, teacher? Hello, teacher. Do you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. All right. So you said that if you want to delete a product, you said you can use Swagger to see it.
Yes,
How can you tell? Is it by providing the token or providing the user ID or what?
No, the data can be deleted in my term if the data is being used in another item. For example, if like a unit it's being used in the item, so we cannot delete it. So when I request to check whether this item this unit can delete it, if the backend send back it can, so it can delete it. So if the backend send back that said that it cannot delete it, so I provide an error message like that.
So so if you want to delete a product, you need to do 2 API requests.
Yes,
One
teacher,
to
yes.
check if the product can delete or not. Another one is to really delete it if it allow. You said
Yes,
it's
yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes, yes, teacher.
Okay, it's kind of strange to me, but all right. How about because if you say so, you only have one user type, right?
Yes, teacher.
It's hard to ask you because you say you don't know about any other thing, or it just a sound kind of weird to me, but it's okay. And about the technology that you mentioned, is it requested by your company or you decide to choose it? Like Angular and G0 like that?
If requested by the company, the company need me to use Angular and G0, all of that. But in this case, I only use Angular and G0, GitHub and G8 and other things. My project manager used it.
So like .NET or this, they use it by your other team member.
Yes.
Oh.
Because I only handle the front end part, so I only use only those framework.
Okay, so from your experience working in this company for 3 months, how do you compare with other technology like Vue.js or React? What is your experience with Angular?
With Angular. After 3 months internship, I have used Angular so much. So I think that Angular have a lot of extra feature. I can say that because it comes with OHJS with subscribe or something like that. Like Vue, I don't know you have it or not because I haven't used it that much. And Angular also come with useful feature like you can use pipe to transfer data, use service to allow another component to share the same function in service, and also it comes with interceptor that we can build in interceptor that we can interact intercept the request before it's sent to the back end, or intercept the response before it sent to the front end. And also, I think Angular is much more like have more feature than other framework, I guess.
Okay, okay. It seems that you have a lot of experience with it. And by the way, how is your working environment over there in your company? Are you working alone? How is the interaction? Is there any? Yeah, tell us about your working experience.
For experience, for the working environment, first of all, I don't know how many another member he has, because this company is like a private company that he uses his own house to make an office, and he is in his office room and I in my internship room. And when when I done the task that he required, he come to ask me to do another task and explain me how to do it. When I did not cannot do it, he come to explain me and show me how to do it like that. And in this project, I don't know how many members are there that doing this project, but in this office right now, there's only me and him doing this project. I don't, but for the another outsourcing, I don't know about it.
Okay. How about the task division? Do they use Scrum as well or not? Or how can the task is divided between team?
For that, he didn't require me. He didn't give me all the tasks yet. He give me the task when I'm done one task. You got it. When I done this task, I tell him that, oh, I done this task already. What should I do next? And then he come to explain me, or he want me to add this function like pick size animation, or add a pick size to enable user to change how many items per page they can see, like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, teacher. So, is there any other question?
I'm sorry, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Teacher, thank you.
Come on, Kruna. Do you have a question?
There's no question from your part. Thank you, Adal, for the presentation.
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Okay. So I don't actually have a question either. So, but I think you have done a lot of jobs, so that's good. So, okay, this is it. This is the end of our session today. So thank you everyone for your participation, and well done to everyone who have finished your presentation. And if there is someone who will present tomorrow, please prepare well. So we will have another session tomorrow again. So that's it.
Okay. Yeah. អរគុណអ្នកគ្នាដែលបានចូលរួមអញ្ចឹងយើងជួបគ្នាស្អែកប្រសិនបើព្រោះយើងមានមួយ session ទៀតស្អែកម៉ោង 9 ណាអញ្ចឹងអ្នកណាចង់ចូលស្ដាប់ហើយចូលបាន
ស្អែកមានពេលថ្ងៃទៀត
ណាពីម៉ោង 9 ដល់ម៉ោង 3 កន្លះអញ្ចឹងបាទអូខេបាយបាយ
អរគុណគ្រូអរគុណអ្នកគ្រូ
ពិសីយើងត្រូវការជួបគ្នាអត់
ទៅគឺត្រូវតែភាសាបន្តិចបាទ
ហ្នឹងឲ្យជួបហ្នឹងហ្មងឬក៏ជួបណា
ហៅថាប្រាក់មកវិញ
ឥឡូវនិយាយតិចទេចឹង
Marilyn ចេញសិនហើយ
ហៅរយៈសិន
Marilyn ចេញនៅ
Marilyn ចេញសិនចេញ
បិទ record សិនណាពិសី
បាទ